Yeah, could I get a large coffee, heavy cream, heavy sugar,
Large
and
coffee, heavy cream, and what else?
heavy sugar?
Okay.
And then I need another large coffee with heavy sugar.
Alrighty, you can pull forward.
Thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
It's gonna be 264.
How much was it?
264.
That's it, really? For two coffees?
I thought you only got one black. A large black?
No, I got a large black with heavy sugar and a large with heavy cream, heavy sugar.
Okay, someone must have left the one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's 528.
Oh, well, now I shorted you.
Guys, we don't need the black coffee anymore. Thank you. Did the person in front of you leave?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
I think apple pie. What do you think? Key lime? I like both pies, so I'm
I
going to
like
go.
apple better.
I'm going 50-50.
That's the one with heavy cream, heavy sugar.
All right.
What's this one, y'all? I need one with heavy sugar. This one is There you go.
Thank you much.
Thank you too.
All right, hey guys, welcome on back. I done messed that up.
You're doing fine.
Cut. Welcome back to CrossFit Garage. This is a very special episode, the first episode of Koffee Kustoms, which is over there. We'll show you in a minute. This is my good friend Eric. We've been friends for how long? How long have we known each other?
A hot minute, 20 years plus.
20 years plus, yeah. This video is special for multiple reasons. One, it's the first episode of Koffee Kustoms. Two, we got Eric, my old friend here. Three, we're in the neighborhood that I grew up in. In the town where we both grew up. You grew up a couple streets down.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah. And so anyway, so this is a very special, and I'm not talking special like that man that your sister married. We don't know why she married that guy. But so we're going to get into it. Eric here, he's got a really nice 1978 Chevrolet c10. And this thing, I'm not lying guys, she's sweet. So let's check it out. And Eric's going to tell us a little story about it.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so Eric's going to tell us a little bit about the history on this truck, where it came from, all that kind of fun stuff. So take it away.
Yeah, so I've been looking for specifically a short bed fleet side truck for quite a while, probably going on about a year. Actually to the point where my wife even, oddly enough, found herself searching too, which that's the whole funny story. She's actually the one that found the truck. So I'm looking at stuff and she says, hey, did you see this one? Flips it open, we found it on Facebook Marketplace. So come to find out, this truck was in Huntsville, Alabama, pretty far away from us. We live in North Kentucky. But I found out that my best friend growing up, who was also a pretty big car guy, lived about 3 miles away from the owner of the truck was. So I reached out to him and I was like, hey man, any chance I could get you to do a solid for me and just go kind of be some eyes and ears? And he did, so shout out to Ryan. I still got that bottle of Blanton's heading your way. I didn't forget about it. So anyway, my buddy Ryan went over and got a look at the truck. The very first thing that he shot me back for a text was, this guy's good people, right? So I'm like, sweet. So he basically kind of validated that, what the guy told, the truck was in the ad, it was what it was. So we got a 78 C10. It's a 350 4-bolt main, bored 30 over. aluminum head engine, factory AC, and again, it's just a good, solid all-around truck. The fact that it came out of the South, I've been underneath of it, frame rails, floor plans. I mean, everything's just really in good shape. But the funny backstory was the guy that had the truck. It was originally his grandfather's truck, and his granddad bought it. I think he owned it for whatever it was, 7, 8, 10 years, and then he sold it, and then whatever else happened. The guy that I picked it up from, after some time went by, he's I don't know, probably 15, 20 years. He says, I'd like to see if I could find Granddad's truck. So he now spends another 2, 3 years or whatever, and lo and behold, after searching around, he finds the guy who bought it from his grandfather. So it's essentially at that point a 2-owner truck, right? So he gets a hold of the guy, says, hey, look, that was my grandfather's truck. I'd love to buy it back from you. Guy originally wasn't interested in selling it, but time went by, whatever happens, and the long story short is he got his grandfather's truck back. So at that point, the paint was in pretty rough shape. Again, sitting in the South, it was all kind of baked up. So he reshot the paint on it, went back to the factory color. He redid the interior of the truck, had the seat redone. There's still some opportunities, if you will, here or there on the interior. So I got a couple things I'd like to do, but at the end of the day, we wound up just finding just an overall solid truck. It's a good runner, and yeah, man, just super excited to have it and to get it. The only other kind of cool part of the story is I mentioned my buddy helped me, kind of be the eyes and ears on it. Through some other friends in the car industry, I found a guy to ship it. So my guy, helped when I found a shipper. He helped get the truck loaded up to me, and they brought the truck to me up here in northern Kentucky, and it was kind of a cool event. Watching it back it out of the trailer, and I'm like, shit, man, there it is. Like, there's my ride.
And that's the only time that I have seen this truck before now, guys, is his little teasers on Instagram about what he had.
Yeah.
And one of them was it coming out of the trailer or going into the trailer. But the great thing is having a buddy that can go look at it for you, because we hear so many different internet horror stories. People buying something and then they get it, and it's just done terribly. But the person thinks they did a great job.
Right.
Yeah. So
absolutely. Yeah, the original parts label is still in the glove box. I mean, just little stuff like that. I get it. The horn works, the dome lights work, the cargo light in the back. I mean, all these little things that you would think with this age, you're going to have some things that pop up.
Right.
And we did. It came out of the truck, unfortunately, with a brake caliper locked up. So early on, I found myself hanging a new brake caliper on it, putting a new brake hose on it. Eventually replaced the master cylinder. But again, you're buying old trucks, right? So something's going to pop up.
Exactly. Yeah. And this color, I think what do they call this? Sapphire silver? Is that what it was?
That sounds right. I checked the parts label and I don't know 100%, but that does sound right.
Yeah. And this is really cool. I like this a lot. Is, dealers back in the day, they used to do this, but this came from Royal Chevrolet right there out of Huntsville, Alabama. So that's really neat.
Yeah, so another kind of funny story about, I mentioned my buddy who helped me, get eyes on the truck. So his dad was actually the general manager at Royal Chevrolet at the period of time that this truck was sold.
Oh, wow.
So it's conceivable that this whole big algorithm could come full circle,
Yeah.
and that my friend who helped me basically kind of see the truck and touch the truck and feel the truck, like his dad, who was a big car guy as well, may have literally been the guy that sold this truck to the original owner back in the day.
Wow.
It's just crazy stuff.
Yeah, it is. So let's start looking around this thing, and what's really cool is, I have to say this, shout out to his wife, because how many of our wives are going to help us hunt down an old car? That's really cool. And, and then on top of that, she helped him find this garage to keep it in, because she didn't want to keep it for her. She didn't want to park her car in the driveway.
Yeah, well, I think she wanted to get me out of the house too, if we're really about it. But that's all right. She helped me out a bunch. So the little story there is, I've been a car guy forever and have been looking for something a little bit older. I really wanted to do a truck. She and I were out grabbing dinner one night, and we come up to a stoplight, and this old couple pulls up in like a 70 Chevelle. Nice looking Chevelle, cammed out a little bit, and both the husband and wife, this old couple, are sitting there eating ice creams. And I was like, look, man, these guys are living their best life, right? I'm like,
Right.
They hop in the hot rod. I went out on a Friday night and got some ice cream. So I told her, I was like, that's all I want. I just want something that I can take you out and get you some ice cream in. So,
So you sold her with the ice cream.
yeah, that's what it was. So, we haven't had ice cream yet, but don't bring that up to her. So we're getting around to it.
Yeah. So let's move down the side here of this thing. And this is oh, look at that. It's the Bonanza edition.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize what the backstory was on the Bonanza. The birds got me a little bit here. I'll have to get it cleaned up. But I guess apparently the Bonanza, that Western show back in the day was so popular that Chevy, jumped on that from a marketing standpoint. And from what I understand, you would go into the showrooms and they would have, the cardboard cutouts of Haas or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were just so, amped up on Bonanza at the time. It was so popular that they were tapping into it from a marketing standpoint. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I got the Bonanza package on it. There's some other pieces that aren't quite factory. I think the grill's been swapped out when he did the previous paintwork. So I want to work on getting that back around and keeping it, more or less original looking. But but again, it's in good shape overall. Body wise. Again, frame rails, everything underneath of it are solid. Just happy to find a nice, solid truck, basically.
Yeah, it's a beautiful truck.
Yeah, thank you. So I've got some aspirations. There's some things I want to do to it. And unfortunately, some of the guys will hear some of the plans and they might get upset. But I do plan on, bringing the truck down a little bit. So I've got a Ride Tech suspension kit. I'm not sure if Ride Tech's going to sponsor you, but maybe they will after we get done chatting about it. So,
Hey, Ride Tech.
yeah.
We got right here.
We got some good stuff happening. So I've also picked up a Borgeson. So shout out to the Borgeson guys. But I picked up a Borgeson quick ratio steering box. Those things are literally en route, so I haven't done that work yet. But I got a couple things that I want to kind of do to it. Potentially looking at maybe even doing something with a stroker LS down the road. But right now, again, it's a solid driver. I mean, I could start it up and drive it anywhere. Just in good shape. But a couple things I want to try to do to it. Make it a little bit more unique to me. I think so.
And you said you were looking at doing the 6.0 LS or the 6.2?
Yeah, so I've got a 6-liter LS block right now that's going to need some machine work on it. Once I can kind of get moved into my new space here in the garage, the plan is to get that 6-liter taken down and get a real good look at it, potentially get it out to the machine shop and get some work done to it that needs to get done. So
nice.
That's the plan. Yep.
So is this the factory 350 that's in it?
I don't think it's the factory 350. It's not numbers matching, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't get too hung up on maybe doing something else engine-wise.
Right.
So the backstory back when he was trying to find this from his grandfather, he was building an engine for another car. Once he found his grandfather's truck, he said, "Look, man, I got to put that motor in Granddad's truck." So that's what he wound up putting in it. And again, good runner, a little bit of a cam in it. It's nothing too over the top. It's factory torque converter still in it. Turbo 350 transmission. So it's not too crazy of a build, but again, just a good, solid overall runner. 60 pounds over pressure, cold startup all day long. I mean,
nice.
I think it's built well. Yeah.
And for some of you guys that don't know, on the Bonanza editions, which is also they what did they have, the Scottsdale, the Bonanza.
Yep. And then I think the Silverado was the other package.
Okay. So they, I believe that in '78. I believe the dry weight on this was about 3,600 pounds.
Sounds right.
Yeah, which I also believe was the cost from the dealership. So you were paying about $1 a pound for this thing back then. And so, I mean.
Yeah, I would have loved to have got in at that cheap. I won't get into the price, but suffice to say,
yeah, so
I didn't land that. But.
Yeah, so if you think that cars are not a good investment, this thing, I mean, you'd be lucky to pick this up for 25 grand. To be honest, I mean, it's a beautiful truck. The camera is probably doing no justice to how beautiful this truck is. So let's, can we pop the hood, check that out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, looky there. So we got a 350 4-bolt main. 30 over, you said?
Yep, 350 4-bolt main, 30 over, aluminum heads, aluminum intake, carbureted, long tube headers on it. So, I would almost kind of call it your quintessential, old school small block build, Again, a little bit of a cam, it isn't too over the top, still running factory torque converter in it. Got a few little things I want to work out. I think, I think there's a little opportunity in getting the carburetor adjusted, so that's one of the things I want to get done here before too long. But again, overall, man, it's solid. You can start it up and drive it. I'm not really sure how many miles I've put on it since I've had it. The weather's kind of turned. I just picked the truck up at the end of September, and obviously haven't had it out too much through the course of the winter. But looking forward to getting it out certainly this spring and this summer, and putting a few miles on it. So
Absolutely. See, we still got the jack mounted in the original spot. That's nice.
Original jack underneath of it there. Just little stuff like that, that I've found along the way. The original label for the jack is still stuck down in there. I mentioned the parts label still in the glove box.
Oh, well, look at this. Looks like I already been in there working on this thing. I mean,
is that a Crosstead's Garage original right there?
oh yeah. You got a new blower motor too.
Yep, and he had it converted over for the refrigerant. Air conditioning blows cold in the car, in the truck I should say. But he's converted over the AC system in it. It was kind of a unique build, I think, than in the South. But yeah, being a Southern truck, I guess he built it and ordered it up to have a factory AC cab, and I imagine in the middle of Alabama in the summer, you'd probably be appreciative of that.
Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna be wanting AC in Alabama. I mean, you're gonna want an AC around here.
Not today.
Not today.
I think we can hear ice coming down on the roof as we're shooting this. That sucks.
Yeah, and I was gonna tonight. What's going on here? I was gonna try and talk Eric into a ride, but I'm not gonna ask him. Not in this. So I will ask him to start it up though, so we can hear it.
Yeah, for sure. Trade check. See what we got. Yeah, like I said, a little bit of cam, not too over the top. You can tell it's a little bit cold natured, but again, I think the tweaks to the carburetor we're really getting it out in.
What carburetor are you running on that?
I believe it's a 650 Holland. Yeah.
Let me say we check out the interior of this thing.
Gotta get the wood grill.
Now that thing is just sweet. Oh, you got a crack in the dash. Price just went down.
Yeah. Well, it leaks oil, but it wouldn't be a Chevy small block if it didn't. So that's just the way things go.
Yeah, and this here I believe was a big part of the Bonanza edition. Was that wild kind of style in there, kind of country western, I guess you would say.
Yeah. So I know he's had some work done on the door panels and that. This is not, obviously, I don't think the original equipment, but yeah, I think he kept consistent with the theme, I think, right?
Right. And that is a really nice respray on this. I mean, they did a nice job. I mean, somebody definitely put some love into doing this.
Yeah, they did the double seals on both front and rear windshields, so good seal back on it.
Oh, yeah.
Just the little stuff, I think they put some time into it.
The Bonanza 10. Not a C10, a Bonanza 10. Now, is that the stock rally? Is that what it came with this truck?
I believe they are. From what I understood, I don't know if they're the actual original wheels. I think he's acquired those wheels somewhere along the way. You know, again, I'm still figuring out the truck myself because I just picked it up at the end of September. But I believe those are the factory rally style wheels for it.
For all the viewers, listen to this door. I mean, that's pretty solid, guys.
American metal, right?
Yeah, factory built wheel and everything. Yep. Fully loaded.
Yep.
Oh, and of course, you gotta have the hula girl.
Yeah, for sure. My Hilla Girl and my Reagan Bush stickers.
Oh yeah, we've Reagan Bush 84. I mean, it did come out of Alabama, so you know.
Yeah, right. Pretty much a necessity. Yeah, thinks she's running a little rich, right? Well,
Got them hand cooped tires. That's good stuff there. That's better than the Walmart specials I've run. What do you think, guys? Do you think when he pulls this 350 out of here to put that LS in, he needs to hook me up for the Willies?
we'll do it. We'll make something happen.
You know, I've been looking at small block Chevrolets, and the prices are outrageous. I mean, you can buy an LS for the same money that you can buy an old beat down 350 anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, again, I have a little bit of purist in me, but you can't really deny the fact that if an LS platform, I mean, you can make so much power,
Right.
you know, and it's not, you know, it isn't cheap, but I mean, you know, you're not doing any of this stuff because it's cheap. It's not really cheap to build an efficient, powerful small block either.
Right.
But, you know, you can start off, I mean, I just think you've got a better, arguably a better block architecture than those late model LS platforms. And I mean, there's so much stuff available to them aftermarket. Sky's the limit. You've got guys that are literally pulling, you know, 4.8s and 5.3s out of junkyard engines and putting turbos on them and making 1,000 horsepower on
Right.
100,000 mile engine blocks. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and that's what I've been noticing as as I've been looking for a motor for my project is, you know, I'll find somebody who has a 350 or a 305 or whatever, and they rattle canned it. It's sitting on the ground, rattle canned, and they're like, great engine, you know, $1,200.
Yeah.
I don't trust that. First off, it's sitting outside on the ground.
Right.
And then, you know, then there's the guys that are going around pulling LS motors. They got them in garages and stuff, and they're selling them, you know, $1,400, $1,600, and it's so you take a factory 350, which is what, 195 horsepower, you know, at best,
Right.
and then, you know, the LS, if say you go with a 5.3, you're looking at 300 horsepower easy.
Right.
You know, so why would you do that?
Right.
It's,
And they respond really well to, you know, even something as little as a cam upgrade or something like that.
right.
You know, it's not that hard to get 400 horsepower out of these things with doing some work at the top end, canning valve springs, doing stuff like that. The bottom end, you can pretty much leave untouched.
Yeah.
So it's hard not to take a real close look at it if you're building something. I mean, and again, a lot of, I could keep this turbo 350 transmission in it, but then you can get into, 6 speeds and 8 speeds. I mean, you've just got, if you wanted to do the car show circuit and drive to Atlanta, you could build something that would get you there. And shit, man, you could get 30 miles to the gallon out of an old hot rod or something,
Right.
something heavy. So it's hard not to really take a hard look at it if you're doing a build.
Yeah, and I think my Willys comes in at about 4,500 pounds dry. But so it's
Yeah, this thing's actually tipping the scales at about 4,000.
Is
So
it?
yeah, that jack might go. The spray and bed liner doesn't help either. I mean,
Right.
I'm glad it's there. It keeps the truck functional, but usually I wait.
well, that's going to be the whole interior of my Willys. It's going to be a spray and bed liner.
Yeah, I did. I killed out of the floor pan in this over the winter. Pulled the seat and everything out of it. Because again, at the end of the day, what I want is something that can be a decent driver. A little bit quieter in the cab. Put a stereo in the car. I went with that retro sound that looks old school, the 2 knobs, but it's MOSFET amplifier, Bluetooth capable,
Oh,
USB
right.
input. So, but at a glance, it's kind of meant to look like an old stereo. And I fabbed up some speaker panels. Your brother would be proud, right? We went back to some old school.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure my brother does speakers anymore. I don't know.
That's going back a few years for all that, right?
This might be the one YouTube video of mine that my brother actually does watch. So he'll be like, "Oh, Eric's on there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch
Check
it."
it out.
Is that your custom dome light?
It's not, but the fact that they've got magnets and you can stick them under the dash.
Right.
Yeah. $5 at Walmart or something like that. Worked out pretty good. Apparently I left the light switch on, so the battery's no good.
And the batteries are more expensive than the.
Probably. Probably. Yeah, a little smoky. A little rich.
Yeah, a little bit, but.
I actually came close to buying a sniper EFI kit.
Really?
Yeah. The day that I bought that 6 liter, the same day there was a guy who had a sniper kit, and I was like, I'm about to go all in on this thing.
Right.
Put that sniper kit in it, and that guy hit me back on that LS, and he came back with a little bit better price.
And that's something that I was also considering, was doing something like this, small block V8, throwing the sniper on there, because that's a really good setup, I
Yeah.
believe. But I don't. Everything's money,
Yeah. And I joked about the leaking small block, but secretly that drives me crazy. I mean, I'm a little OCD, and I don't want a puddle of oil underneath that everywhere I go.
Right.
And that 180,000 mile LS, you can almost eat off the block.
Right.
I mean, I think they seal so much better, and that's to me valve covered oil pan front to back. They just seal up better. And to me that's a part of enjoying the process, right? If I go to a car show and I've got a quart of oil laying underneath of it, that doesn't look cool, But, so again, if you can make more power, get a better overall setup, cleaner,
And so ride tech wise, you were talking about, what exactly are you looking at doing here?
So the Ride Tech kit has a composite leaf spring in the rear. It utilizes an elongated shackle or whatever, so it basically brings it down there. You have drop spindles in the front with the changed spring rate on the front coil springs. New shocks front and rear, they're obviously designed to accommodate the suspension travel. And then it has a front stabilizer bar, roll bar.
Oh, nice.
So again, ideally, I don't plan on doing autocross events for it, but ideally just to get the truck to behave a little bit better, right, and just make it a little more enjoyable on the drive. And again, I think that coupled with the quick ratio steering box you know,
Oh,
just modernize the feel of it a little bit, you know.
Absolutely, it's gonna be like driving a Corvette then.
Yeah, well, maybe not quite, but maybe close, closer. You know, right now it drives like an old truck, cause, you know, it's an old truck, right?
Right.
That's the way it goes.
Well, it is an absolute beautiful old truck.
Yeah, thanks, man. I like it. I'm super excited about it. Like I said, still learning. I wouldn't profess to be one of those guys that knows everything, and someone might watch your video and be like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. In '78, you know, they riveted in the whatever. And, you know, I don't dispute all that. I'm happy that those kind of people are out there and have the knowledge. That's not me. But, you know, I'm ready to learn and do some stuff.
So if any of you guys know any information that you might be looking for on this 78 Bonanza, you can drop it down there in the comments. But don't be one of those guys. Don't. I have these guys, I swear to you, I will do something and they will put down in the comments, they're like, why the hell are you doing that? Do this, it'll be so much easier. And I'm like, well, yeah, but it's gonna look like crap. You know, it might be easier, but it's gonna look like crap, and I don't want my stuff to look like crap. And so, but if you have any actual real information that can be backed up, you know, drop it down in there, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Keyboard warriors can stay at home, but I think any of us should be here to learn. And, you know, we certainly know there's people out there that have walked this walk and have that knowledge. That, you know, if anything, you know, pass it along to the generation that may not have it, right? So I think at the end of the day, hopefully we're all in a community where we want to see, you know, cool stuff and cool builds and people enjoying that process, right?
That's exactly right, and that's why this whole channel started. Was my son has no interest in cars, and I'm hoping that the generation beyond him, which my son also has no interest in having kids, so I won't have any grandchildren to teach. My father passed away, so I'm just kind of passing on what I know, meeting up with other people, kind of passing on what they know. And, you know, hopefully there's a generation out there that's going to pick it up, because let's face it, there's a generation out there that's growing up with fathers that don't know anything about cars. And maybe that generation wants to get in. Am I talking? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely,
I mean,
100%.
I don't know how many inception layers of generations deep I am here now, but yeah, so, you know, let's pass along the knowledge. Let's, like he said, let's not be, you know, keyboard warriors, you know, let's not be tough guys behind a screen. Let's help people out, you know, let's build this car community and, you know.
Well, and I think there's a lot to be said for, you know, taking that leap, right? I mean, and I'm thankful to have found a really nice foundation truck to start with. But, you know, there's a lot of people that are out there that are starting off with whatever they're starting off with, and that's cool too, right? I mean, everybody's on their own journey, and you know, there are economies of scale. I mean, you're kind of bringing to the table what you can. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to be, you know, an old guy, and I've worked my butt off, and I've got maybe just a little more disposable income. So I'm thankful to be starting off on a foundation, you know, that's as nice as this. But you know, there's also people out there that are putting together what they can, and you know what, they're gonna have a cool ride too. And I wish them luck. And you know, again, maybe, you know, they check out your channel and find some inspiration, right? And keeps them motivated to get out in the garage and keep going after it. So.
If you want to see a build started from pure junk, definitely watch my build. A good foundation, this is definitely it. Yeah, you couldn't pick a better foundation to start working on, you know.
Yeah, really excited for it, man. I like it a lot.
I'll be honest with you, I would be scared to tear into something this nice, but you know, it's good that you're not.
Well, you know, there's not a doubt in my mind that I'll lean on some people. I mean, I'm thankful to have connections with you know, true car guys. I mean, I'm you know, enthusiastic and I'm passionate about it, but I'll be the first to say that my mechanical skills may not be on a certain level. But I'm thankful to have people in my network that I think I can lean into that can help me do some stuff that's above my pay grade. And again, to me, that's what it's all about too, right? I mean, I'm here to bring all the beer and all the pizza to those guys that are willing to come out on a Saturday night and give me an hour or two of their time and knowledge. But again, I think at the end of the day, it kind of comes back to just having some passion and doing what you can do, and you know, trying to put something together that's nice.
And for the record, I think Eric's selling himself a little bit short here, because I believe you started working at the Chevy dealership in high school, correct?
That is correct, yeah. It's been a few years ago.
So he's been in the car industry his entire life, basically. And growing up out here, I mean, small block Chevrolets, they're in our DNA. I'm pretty sure that our fathers were, you know, coming up to us, you know, in our mom's bellies, you know,
Yeah.
mom was like, hey, talk to the baby, and they were like coming up giving the firing order to a small block Chevrolet, you know. So-
Yeah, true story. Gasoline in the first bottle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, it was great. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
for that.
man, thanks for coming out. Give me a chance to talk about the truck, you
Yeah.
know.
And-
Super excited.
And if you are interested in being on Koffee Kustoms, you know, you got something to show off. It doesn't have to be this nice, or maybe it's nicer. I don't know. What do you have? And it doesn't have to be a car. If you got a cool motorcycle, if you got anything that you're passionate about, that you've been working on, or you worked on, or whatever you have plans for, you know what I'm saying. If you got something, hit me up. If you're in a 200-mile radius of, say, Cincinnati area. And I'll come out to you and we'll go over and see what you got. And I'll throw in a free tumbler, which I gave, you all
Yeah.
missed that. I gave one to Eric. It's somewhere around
Sounds
me.
like I can check it out.
I think it's already in the trash can, but
No. It's next to my coffee.
probably okay. Yes, I do bring coffee. Anyway, thanks a lot, and catch you guys later. Y'all stay awesome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jeff.